Welcome back to Toony Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk some more about Checkered Past, the block that's been running on Adult Swim from 5 to 7 since at least, I believe, August 18th or 28th, one or the other, I forget. But regardless, it's been running since August of 2023, and it's the coolest thing ever. It really is. It is a wonderful tribute specifically to my generation who grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, even the promos talk about when we were 11. You know, I was 11 back in 2002 when a lot of these shows were, you know, kind of at their peak. And for those who aren't familiar, basically it is the new introductory segment of Adult Swim. It's the new introductory block on Adult Swim. And what it is it is 4 classic early 2000s Cartoon Network shows. Technically, one of them started in the 90s, which was Dexter's Lab. And I believe Ed, Edd n Eddy also did as well. So maybe 2. But the rest are early 2000s. So it's 4 shows. It starts out at 5. It premieres with Dexter's Laboratory. Then it moves on to Ed, Edd n Eddy. And then The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And then it finishes up with Courage the Cowardly Dog. Very, very solid lineup. They've made a whole bunch of brand new bumpers featuring those classic characters and the new Checkered Past logo, which is the skull with the Cartoon Network styled mouth, which is a really cool logo. And they have funny ways of incorporating it into the environment. It's very much like Adult Swim's standard bumpers. But this block has been going on for several weeks. So why is it so cool? You know, what is it about it that works in an era of streaming? You'd think in the streaming era that this thing would just feel outdated and redundant and kind of stupid, but it doesn't, because the whole idea is watching TV the way it was intended, watching TV the way that made people feel the way that they did back in the day, which was relaxed, forget about your troubles, just turn something on and submit to what is happening. That is traditional linear TV in a nutshell, and that's why I love traditional linear TV that I grew up with, because it is submitting to something. Instead of jumping around menus all the time, you're just submitting to a schedule that's already there. You're just setting aside an hour or two to just sit and watch what is happening. Even if you've seen it before, if it's stuff that you love, you don't care. And that's what Checkered Past is. It is submitting to a classical styled experience that's reminding you of the way things used to be, the way cartoons used to be, the way you used to enjoy them. You know? It's great. Yes, these shows exist on streaming platforms. You know, I watch Dexter's Lab quite a bit on Prime Video, and same with Ed, Edd n Eddy. But there's a difference between watching them on streaming and watching them on classical TV, where they feel more at home, what they were originally made for. It just works. And you just want, it makes you want more. And that's the thing, is I want more. I want this block to go on for longer. I want this thing to go till 9 o'clock. I know that would cut into some of their precious King of the Hill time, and I love King of the Hill as much as anybody, but come on now. They've got the ability to extend this thing. Some people have even said this should be its own network, and that Adult Swim should be its own network, because regular Cartoon Network has just completely fallen off the wagon. You know, there's just not a whole lot there. I did a video talking about Tiny Toons Looniversity, and it's been one of my best performing videos on the channel, and I'm thankful to everybody for that. There's been a lot of, I've gotten more comments on that video than anything I've ever done. People just weighing in on what they feel, honestly, and being respectful about it too. If they like it, if they dislike it, if they agree with my opinions, if they disagree with my opinions. It's been wonderful. It's been truly great. Thank you everybody who has been a part of that, because that's been really awesome. But you know, Cartoon Network doesn't have much more other than stuff like that. And there's not a whole lot available. So being able to share this Checkered Past block with the youth has been great. Some have loved it, some have not really cared for it, but it's been something that's brought people together. And it's people sharing their past, their childhood, with their kids, with younger generations. And a lot of these shows have held up incredibly well. All of them have. They really have. And one I was surprised by was The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And I have yet to make a Toony talk about that, so I won't get too deep into what makes that show great, because, again, that'll be its own video. But these shows have held up really well, and having them back-to-back like they used to be. Like, I'm already, when the credits are playing, I'm hearing the old announcers talking about what is coming up next, the way they used to do it. They don't have announcers anymore, but I can hear them audibly It's crazy, probably because I've been watching a whole bunch of old promo and bumper videos for Cartoon Network, but still, it just brings you back to that time, as the promos say, when you were 11, you thought this was great. When times were simpler and the internet didn't rule your life. I love that promo, by the way. I really love that promo, because that encapsulates what this is. This is one of the greatest things that Cartoon Network / Adult Swim has ever done. It really is. And this thing can have traction for several years to come if they just keep putting stuff out there. People love these shows. And a lot of people have been confused. They're saying, well, I don't have cable anymore. How do I access this? And what I want to tell people is you don't need to go back to your cable subscriber and get cable to access these. YouTube TV, Sling TV, Philo TV. There are other live TV services. I believe Fubo TV has Cartoon Network. Internet TV services that function almost identically to cable and are largely cheaper. Find a tier that has Cartoon Network, subscribe to it for however long you want, however long you can afford, and just do it that way. I highly recommend those services to begin with whenever I'm talking about media, because I'm such a massive fan of linear TV. Look, it doesn't need to be linear TV or streaming. I think the two need to come together to create something beautiful. I think streaming services need to have actual linear TV services with real channels. I think that still needs to exist, because sometimes you just want to veg out and watch some classical cartoons. Or maybe new cartoons. Or some people just like that format that's scheduled. I know I do. I know it's hard for people these days on the go to submit to that sort of format, but I personally think it's a great relaxing format, and it just works. And it's worked for over 70 plus years. Classical TV doesn't deserve to die, and Checkered Past is proof that it is still viable in the modern day, and it just brings a smile to my face. It really does, because so many people have just jumped on the bandwagon of streaming good, linear TV bad, and Checkered Past is proving no. It's not a question of one or the other. You can have both. It's just they need to find meaningful ways monetarily to combine the two experiences. That way people don't have to go without, because there's so many people who cut the cord for streaming, and they're like, I wish I had cable to watch Checkered Past and Adult Swim. And it drives them crazy. So you need to do like what Sling TV and all these other ones are doing, and have sort of an on-the-go, because that's the thing. When you have internet TV, you can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on your TV, you can watch it on your computer, you can watch it on your tablet, you can watch it on your smart refrigerator. You can watch it on whatever device will play it. And that is the benefit of internet TV over just a physical linear cable or satellite. Doesn't mean those can't exist, or that there are some people who live in rural areas without good internet, but they have cable or satellite access. So be it. But internet TV allows for streaming functionality, and it allows you to watch on multiple devices. It just works. But my point overall with Checkered Past being the focus is, this is again proof that the format and the presentation almost matter as much as the shows. And somebody at Cartoon Network / Warner Brothers Discovery was smart enough to realize this and implement this, and I couldn't be happier about how it's going. What I want to see for the future, I want to see an extended block. I would like them to mix up during the week which shows get aired. I'd like to see Codename Kids Next Door, Johnny Bravo, Camp Lazlo, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, all of these other different shows that aired, Evil Con Carne, Powerpuff Girls. I would like to see all of these different shows that aired during that era of Cartoon Network be on the block. And who knows, I think they're just getting started with this thing. If it continues to be a success, maybe they will do that. Maybe they'll actually extend the block, because it is insanely popular. I don't know. But what I do know is they've got a great thing here, and they shouldn't just let it go, especially if it starts to feel dull, which I'm sure over time it will. But they shouldn't let go of it, because it's a great, great block, and there are great shows in there. They should just be adding to it, creating more bumpers, adding more programs. People still care about these shows. They care about that time in their life. It's not just nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. These shows have held up insanely good. So, It's an awesome block, and it's awesome because it brings us back to a time where things were simpler, the internet didn't rule our lives, and we can just relax and enjoy and even share that experience with our families. And it's just a beautiful thing. And here's hoping it goes for years to come. Thank you very much for watching. This has been another edition of Toony Talk. This has been Super Koopa TV. God bless. Have a good one. Peace.